Welcome back to the coverage of YCS Rimini 2016. It is the finals. We made it all the way to the finals. Guys, it's been an exciting weekend. We promised you it's going to be one of those. And I think we did deliver.
We had so many innovative decks from all the way from round one up until we had just such a wide variety.
Yeah.
Light swans, zombies, pure zombies with
zombies.
Zombie synchro.
And Lightsworn actually made it into the top 32.
Yeah, all of these made it top 32. Cyber Angels as well. So many different.
Let's talk about the decks and also about the country breakdown of our today's event. Just need to see that we can produce that for you guys. For some reason, we need to. There we go. I think we got it now. Yes. Here we go. This is our initial breakdown at the start of day one. More than 900 players made this one of the larger European YCSs.
Yep.
And there you see the general tendency. We have a couple of guys that are unaccounted for, or in other countries that are less than 4 players. So this is the other category. But lots and lots of Italians, as always. Every time we're in Italy, they really make up the absolute core of the field.
Yeah.
And then Germans decided to take a vacation at the beach. France in close, not quite close pursuit, but next up in line. And you see, for example, the UK didn't have such a strong showing this time.
No.
Rimini, for some people, is a bit hard to get to because it doesn't have an airport of its own.
Yeah.
This is a system crash. This was supposed to be our country breakdown after the end of day one. Italy was, of course, going down in numbers. That's always what happens with the country that sends the most players.
Yeah.
222 after day one, and 59 Germans. So still those two countries in first and second place.
The conversion rate for Germany was very high.
It was okay. I think they started with 150. Now they're down to 50. So 1/3, roughly. And then top 32, we have 14 Italians and 11 Germans. This time the conversion rate was really good. And one Romanian player, one from the UK, one from the Netherlands. Like, we saw quite a bit of diversity in our top 32. And the finals is now the all-time classic of Italy versus Germany, of course. Sorry if the UK feels a little left out.
That's okay.
Can't
But
change
it's
the.
fine. We went to Worlds this year. We were just happy to be
It's gonna make up for some of these things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went to Worlds. There's nothing more to be said.
It's been a while, right?
Yeah, okay. It was like 7 years.
Still,
Finn did a fantastic job at the World Championships.
Right.
And he had an absolute blast with his stat pool.
maybe we can show you guys the metagame breakdown. We can. This is the metagame at the start of day one. Domain Monarchs, the big deck going into the weekend. And you said it, a Pendulum should be a pretty good choice for this weekend.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
I thought a lot of players would just go with Blue Eyes White Dragon since it won the World Championship, even though it's a different format. But you never know.
Yeah, I actually think just on this one here, the spread of decks was way closer than I thought it would be.
That is true. Yeah.
There is so little variance in the amount of the people brought these decks.
Yeah.
That it obviously shows that it's a really diverse meta now that we have these new cards.
So after 8 rounds, let's try to bring that up. Suddenly, Pendulum in 3rd place. Very good conversion rate.
Yeah, jumped up.
Blue Eyes White Dragon was going down, so not a good choice this weekend. Exceed Monarchs also not doing super well there. Domain Monarchs was staying at the top, but their advantage in comparison to the rest of the field was shrinking and shrinking.
Blue Eyes actually stuck around quite a lot.
Right.
There's a lot of Blue Eyes. The conversion with Blue Eyes was really good.
So I'm just going to try to show you guys the top 32 breakdown. Suddenly Pendulum on top.
Yeah.
So, like we said,
I think it was a good call.
And there you can see the variety because Cyber Angel is in there and 13 other decks. Among them, like we said, zombies and so on.
Yeah, that Cyber Angel deck was really cool.
Right.
Really cool.
And by the way, Pendulum is not just those 5 decks. There were other variants of Pendulum, just like the finalist, for example, is playing Majespecter, which is just another variant of Pendulum. So let's also, before we talk about... that's the wrong...
Yeah. Actually, the calling it Majespecter is probably not as close as Magician Pendulum, really.
Right.
Because that's the key part. I guess the thing with Pendulum at the moment is that there's so many variants that it's hard to identify it. So
Right. So here are our two finalists, Tayfun Bayraktar from Germany and Alberto Conti. We featured both of these guys before. We saw the match between Harald Rose and Alberto Conti earlier, where his Cosmodoc went up against, what was Harald playing? Was it Domain Monarch?
it was Monarch.
It was Monarch.
No, it was Pendulum.
Oh, it was
It was
Pendulum, right?
Yeah, both of the last matches had Pendulum.
Well, we went into the match saying that one of the problems of the Cosmo Fire King deck is the lack of consistency.
Yeah.
Apparently, Alberto Conti found kind of different.
Happy medium.
Yeah, he went with a different build.
Yeah.
Only one copy of Fire King Island, only one copy of Fire King Avatar Garunix. So his deck was pretty consistent.
Yeah.
Also not playing the Pot of Desires for that reason, because he's got a couple of one-offs and doesn't want them to be banished from his deck. And this turned out to be the best build for this weekend. At least if we're looking at the numbers, he's in the finals. The other Fire King Cosmo duelists are not.
Nope.
That's the story about this deck. Tayfun, on the other hand, is playing the agreed-on best version of Pendulum in a way.
Yeah, well, it's got to be agreed on. He's in the finals. No, I think it's not even the agreed on version. I think that this is a different version to what many people are playing.
Oh, how is it different?
Because he's playing the Magician kit.
All right, so he does have like a unique take
Yeah,
on
very
it,
unique.
really?
Yeah, very unique. So having all those magicians is really, I spoke to him during the interview, so I'm repeating a bit of that, but if you didn't catch it, he was saying a lot about how Sky Iris really underperforms when you're not playing the magicians.
Okay.
So he's not having to play Artific Eccentric. He can play the Dragon Pit Magician instead, and that's protected by Sky Iris.
Right.
Basically, all of his pendulum scales are protected by Sky Iris, which makes Sky Iris even more important in this build.
Right. Then again, it's kind of surprising that he's playing two copies, but he's got Terraforming, of course.
As well.
All right. Going into this match, who do you think is going to be the favorite?
I'm going to go with Pendulum.
With Pendulum.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess I have to pick Cosmo Fire King then.
Yeah. Well, I started with Pendulum. I'm going to stick with them right to the end.
So guys, this is it. It's going to be the final duel of the day. Alberto Conti from Italy against Tayfun Bayraktar. With that, it's time to duel. So Tayfun on the left with Majespecter, the Pendulum version, and Alberto on the right with his proven Cosmo deck.
Yep.
And for the last time today, Ryan on the right and Luca on the left, standing behind those players, entering the cards in our app, so we can show you guys what they have been drawing into. Let's start with Alberto. He's got Cosmo Dark Destroyer, Max C. There we go.
That's a nice handshake.
And Ryan and Luca did the same.
I don't understand.
He's a troll.
Okay, that's a strong.
That's a magical abductor.
That's a strong opening there for magical abductor.
Okay, we got the entire opening hand
there's
for
Maxi.
Alberto. There was Maxi in the opening hand. Now it's in the graveyard where it belongs.
There's no reason not to play it straight away here.
How many cards is he going to draw?
One.
Just one. Okay.
At most. He may not even draw one. But it all comes down to whether Tayfun really thinks that Kieran's worth it, and I think that it is. Okay, double Kieran here. Okay, so this is really, really strong. He's able to put both Kierans on the field. Me and Marcello were talking about this last game, how having double Kieran, obviously you can't use them both in one turn, but having it on the field makes it so that if it sticks around, like you might as well have it, and if it sticks around, then it's safe from any kind of strikes or anything like that. Okay, wait, did he open Garunix?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, Fire King, Avatar Garunix.
That's rough.
And Island. So, whereas Tayfun has a great opening hand, Alberto doesn't.
Not so much.
He's still got some cards in his hand, but nothing really threatening here, isn't?
No. I mean, he's kind of a bit of an investment plan. So he's going to bounce away that
Slip Rider.
Slip Rider before it gets its chance to be destroyed by the Fire King Island. But that's the one copy of Fire King Island gone now.
Right. So now it's basically a Kozmo deck.
Yeah, just regular Kozmo.
Pretty much, yeah. So that's it for Alberto. He just went down from 6 to 3 cards.
He drew Terraforming. Wow. Okay, so this puts Magical Abductor in a great spot right now because he's going to be able to get the full counters of Magical Abductor, use Magical Abductor's effects to go and search for any of these cards that he wants from his deck. He's probably going to be able to win this turn.
Right, so Tayfun's hand just continue to shape in a perfect form.
Yeah,
he's
just
like
more and more Kirins.
It's a piece of art
Yeah.
that Majespecter deck is doing right there.
Yeah.
It's like a sculpture coming together.
Yeah.
And there's the Sky Iris. He's pulling so far ahead.
Yeah, this is crazy. He probably is going to be able to win this turn.
Right. We did see the Kozmo deck coming back from some rough positions.
Yeah.
But this time around, it doesn't look that fortunate.
He's got nothing on the field, essentially. His Cosmojo is not going to help at all. So putting Drag Pulse, that gives him the full range of 1 to 8 scales. So yeah, using Dragon Pit, it doesn't even matter if that back row is a real one or not.
Oh, by the way, Ryan was looking at the top decks of today. And he was. And this is game 1. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, let's not undersell that. It is already 1-0 for Tayfun.
Huge pendulum
Bayraktar.
summon.
Yeah. Germany.
What is it with our finals?
I don't know. For some reason,
the finals of our events never last at all very long.
Yeah. Every time the players are like, "Yeah, I have to show you guys why I'm here. This is the reason. This is the reason." Tayfun Bayraktar takes the first game in a hurry. It's 1-0 for Germany against Alberto Conti from Italy. Earlier we saw something very interesting in our top 8 feature match where a player was even explaining after the match in great detail that he had certain cards in the sideboard that helped him go second. He won the first game, and then his opponent, to his own surprise, told him after sideboarding, "You're going to go first." So his boarding plan was completely screwed, and he said it was the correct choice of the opponent to have me go first if he knew my deck list, if he knew that I'm reciting all of those cards that can really help me
going second.
Yeah, exactly. Claim control over the field even when I'm going second. I'm not sure if we're going to see this here. I think both of these guys really want to go first.
Yeah.
With Tayfun, of course. He's got cards like Secret Village. That's something you want to resolve before your opponent has his turn. And on the other side, we got the anti-spell fragrance for Alberto.
Fragrance.
Same story there.
Yeah, spell fragrance is going to be a big factor in this game if it manages to resolve.
Yeah. And Ryan looked at the top 4 deck list to continue that story from early on.
Yeah.
And he looked at them. He's like, it's quite a cool and diverse metagame. Like 4 different decks in the top 4, but all of them have one thing in common. I was like, oh, what is that? And he's like, tomorrow they have to play with a different deck. So talk about a very equal distribution in terms of hits with the new restricted and limited list. That was a pretty good example of that.
Yeah, well, that's
the point.
Only justifies it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so all those times where I've seen people say it before in the past, where they say, "Oh, well, they're just going to look at what wins the next YCS and hit those instead," and yeah, it's predictions at its best.
Yes, it is. All right. So what do you think is going to happen? Are we going to see a 2-0 clean sweep, or is it going to be?
He's gonna quick handshake. I don't. It all depends on where Alberto decides to go with if he lets him go first or not. I think Alberto is going to go first. His deck is made to go first. Yeah. Really, Alberto's deck is made to go first, and there's no possible way that he can.
It's also like we asked him because he also won his round when he went second, and he told me, "Yeah, I was surprised when I'm always surprised when somebody lets me go first after they lost their first game."
Yeah. I think it really is a go first meta.
Unless, of course, you're playing one of these few decks that really want to go second. I mean,
Yeah.
Burn was the one example.
Just one example, yeah.
He didn't do too bad, the Burn player.
Okay, Alberto's hand doesn't look ideal here. Oh. Oh, okay. He's got double anti-spell fragrance.
Did you say it doesn't look so good?
Oh, well, yeah, it was just the fact that I saw him just summon a monster and summon 4, and I was like, oh, this doesn't look very good. Bam, double anti-spell fragrance.
But wait, there's more.
But wait, there's more. But he could very easily here just lose to Twin Twisters.
All right, yeah, good point. He's setting 3 for maybe for that reason. Who knows?
Yeah.
There is immediately the
Spell fragrance.
spell fragrance, and no. Oh my
What?
gosh, that is it! Wow. Explosive games all over the place. Tayfun had Kirin, Dragon Pit Magician, Pot of Desires, Auto Ice Pendulum Dragon, and a 5th card that we didn't even get to see. And just when he saw the anti-spell fragrance, he was like, all right, let's continue with the 3rd game, maybe. 1-1 between Tayfun, Bayraktar, and Alberto Conti.
Why?
You're having
I
some
don't
trouble
get it.
making
Why-
sense of this?
But if he draws, he can draw things like Typhoon and be happy because he could play it
Maybe he didn't
and
sign it
then
in.
win.
Wow. This is definitely, that was the quickest game we've ever seen. It was the quickest game.
No, that absolutely
That
was the
second game,
quickest.
yeah. I mean, we've seen player assembles gigantic fields and everything. Maybe they have a kind of agreement, and that's
Yeah.
why they always shake hands. They say like, "Oh, if you start with this and this, I'm just going to scoop, and if you start with this and this, I'm just going
I'm
to
just
scoop."
gonna skip.
Yeah. Okay, that's
That was swift.
yeah. So now it's game 3. Arm wrestling. Yeah, that handshake is a bit different than what we usually see. And interestingly
So I'm in
enough,
shock here. I don't understand why we're in game 3 already.
yeah. And yeah, we actually had some people that predicted this, that he's going to scoop immediately once the card is going to be flipped.
Yeah.
Wow. So, boarding plan. What's going to happen now? Or is it not so much about boarding, it's just the Typhoon is like, okay, I'm going to go first. This is cool. I got this.
Yeah, I guess that's a good way to look at it. It's like, oh, I just want to go first and win again instead of messing around doing whatever that is. But he seems completely unfazed. Like that seemed like a rage quit to me.
Yeah, it does.
It did seem like a rage quit. Right?
That was the real life equivalent of a rage quit online, where you just disconnect. Tayfun was disconnecting. He was like, "Yep, I got this.
I'm done."
Yeah, it was fun. All right.
Yeah, that's
Let's see. After 2 clutch games in arm wrestling, let's see if we're gonna see it again.
I don't think we're going to see a handshake at the start of this game for some reason. I've just got a strange
You
feeling.
think he's gonna be really salty now?
If it was me, I would be.
What?
Well,
It was
Yeah.
the same in the first game.
it was the same in the first
Yeah,
game. I
it's
guess. Yeah.
just looked a bit different.
Alberto's looking.
There it is.
Okay, there we go. Better people than me. So,
Yeah.
okay, so Tayfun is probably going to go first here. His hand looks pretty good.
Yeah. And there are a couple of green cards that he can activate before his opponent
No,
can
hold
do
on, I
something
think he's
about it.
open triple terraforming.
He did, yes.
Okay, no, he sounds awful. I thought the 2 cards in the middle.
And a Sky Iris. Whoa, look at this. Triple terraforming Sky Iris. And that is all she wrote. He didn't even need to, like, if we quickly try and get a look at Alberto's hand, Cosmo Forerunner, Cosmodon, Cosmo Sword Troopers, Viking Island, Upstart Goblin, that is all, but that opening from Tayfun, he immediately was like, no, there's nothing I can do. This is the wrong... Yeah, the arm wrestling went for Italy. Okay. We have had quick finals. I don't think we've ever had a quicker finals that lasted 3 games, if we want to really call that 3 games. that's going to be an interesting post-match discussion.